welcome to Week and Geek, your new comics preview for March 26th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm the Chris Brown.
What do you got?
Well, I'm going to start off here with Silver Surfer #1 by Marvel Comics. This is, new Silver Surfer. Mm-hmm. I've always enjoyed Silver Surfer. I really enjoy Mike Allred.
Definitely.
I didn't know how I felt about Mike Allred on, FF. A lot of people really loved it. I was like, I don't know. This seems to me is going to be just a better fit. Kind of in that weird kind of madman vein. Like, this has me actually really excited. And it is written by Dan Slott, so I figure I'm going to keep reading this book until Silver Surfer and Galactus change bodies. Otherwise, I'm in there. I'm hanging in.
That would be awesome if that was his end game here. Because he's only going to tell the same story over and over again. It works for some people.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Next up, I've got Amazing X-Men #5. This is, Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness. This book has been awesome.
Yeah.
This is swashbuckling fun in the afterlife with the X-Men who are apparently, rescuing Nightcrawler. Mm-hmm. They didn't really know what was going on. Some Bamfs were coming through. There were some evil red Bamfs. And now we found out that it's, Azazel's trying to take over heaven, essentially. Mm-hmm. And he's got a big pirate ship and some pirates. And it's cool, man. I dig it. And it's a neat way to bring back Nightcrawler. Who is now going to get his own book written by Chris Claremont, which is kind of cool. I don't know if this is the end of this story arc or if they're pulling a full... there's got a little X at the end there. So I'm guessing that's the end of the arc, and then that'll roll us into the next book. But I really like it. And I'm curious to see where he's going to go now that they brought Nightcrawler back.
Yeah.
He gets his own book. Now where's Jason Aaron going with this story? So far, it's been awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if Nightcrawler is going to continue. That's the thing with the X-Men books. Sometimes... when there is a discrete book, that book is a specific team.
Right.
But sometimes it's not. Like the regular X-Men title is primarily the female characters.
Yep.
So it's still unclear because we've only had one story. Is this group the Amazing X-Men? Because obviously Nightcrawler is going to be in another book. So is this a rotating thing?
You know what, though? A guy who can teleport being in more than one book makes a lot more sense than Wolverine being in every book that's on Marvel.
All he's got to do is just tag along with Wolverine. He can be in 5 books.
Yeah, right? But he could just be like, Bamf, no, I'm in this book. Bamf, no, I'm back in my own book. Hey, take that, suckers.
They should do that. Actually, let's put Wolverine or put Nightcrawler on every single team in the Marvel Universe.
It would make more sense.
He just disappears in the background panel and appears somewhere else. That's not a bad idea.
That I would be okay with.
That'd be fun.
Next, sticking with my Marvel books, I've got George A. Romero's Empire of the Dead. This is issue 3. Certainly seems appropriate this week in light of everybody kind of going nuts about the Bub cameo in Walking Dead this week. That was, give a little shout out to my buddy Eric Gutierrez, who was all over that right off the rip. And, that started trending on Twitter really quick.
Yeah.
But, no one has talked about, I guess, the rest of this season and last season, or I guess the first half of the season. Nicotero's been doing it all along, slipping in characters. But Bub's a big one.
Yeah.
So that was pretty
even
cool.
I recognized that one.
Yeah. I kind of looking, I was like, wait a minute. Well, maybe, I don't know. And then when I saw the side-by-side comparison, I'm like, oh, yeah, they did it up. So this is like a continuation of Romero's Dead story, and we now have zombies and vampires. So it's similar to that Extinction Parade that Max Brooks is doing, where there was also a vampire element. I mean, I guess that's just the next evolution.
Yeah.
I guess that's where that's going.
Two great tastes taste great together.
Indeed. So, this has been a cool book. I've been digging it. I like, more Romero.
Great art by Alex Maleev.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, I really dig him. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And didn't he get his start from Caliber Comics? I think he was doing some Crow stuff.
Could be.
At
he
Caliber.
did some. Although that might have been after Crow jumped to another company, but he did some early Crow stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was still Caliber though when they were doing those miniseries, but it might have been.
Yeah.
But next I've got The Wake issue #7. This is Scott Snyder and was it Sean Murphy. This has been a cool book. That first 5 issues was, you had this woman scientist trying to discover what was going on. There was some kind of sea monster. And then you realize that there were bigger sea monsters, and they took over, and they've taken over the world.
Wow.
And you get to issue 6, and now it's jumped into the future. And you've got basically the world is covered in water. There's maybe some kind of subversive thing going on. There's a woman who's using some kind of tracking device that she's not supposed to be using. And then, the government or whoever it is, the powers that be start coming after her. It's a really neat story that I'm curious to see how it's all going to come together. I'm sure he's going to tie back to those first 5 issues more so than just, we took 5 issues to show you the monsters taking over.
Right.
So really just a neat book, and a neat way to approach things. I kind of like, too, that they reprinted those first 5 issues in that, half a trade kind of deal. Really, really cool stuff. Made it easy to catch up. Good book. I like that one. A lot of Vertigo titles this week, too. I'm sure you got at least one of them in there.
Yeah.
Next, I've got The Midas Flesh. This is issue number 4 of 8 from Boombox. This is another imprint of Boom. This is a group of ragtag misfits on a space adventure trying to find Earth in wake of the King Midas myth. Obviously they don't really know about old King Midas. It's a myth that we have, but they want to know why it is you can't go to Earth. Why is it covered in gold? Was there some kind of biological weapon? And they determined that the biological weapon is this guy.
Oh, well.
And anything he touches, like, uh-oh. At one point they take a finger off of him. So, all right. So this is kind of interesting. They're trying not to touch that finger. And it's humorous, but it's also smart. I really like the artwork. The artwork is done in kind of a cartoony style. Really just kind of a cool book. They're now kind of on the run from another group because Earth is off limits from whatever their federation, their group overseeing everything. And I don't remember exactly where that last issue left off, but in scheme of the whole broad concept, they have figured out Earth. They've got that finger. There's the finger. And just really cool. I'm curious to see where it's going to go and what they're going to do. I mean, are they going to explore more gold? Are they trying to do that? Or are they just, now they got the finger, they can do whatever they want? I don't know. Next, I've got Umbral number 5 from Image Comics. This has been pretty cool. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. There's a lot of magic and weirdness, and this young girl has stolen this piece that's pretty important to kind of the kingdom, essentially. And then there's these Umbral, who are sort of these shadow creatures that are trying to get her and take over something. But the Umbral is also described as a place, so she has fallen into that. And I really do not entirely know what's going on, but I love the art. I think it's kind of interesting. I'm still tagging along. I finally got caught up. I was a couple issues behind, and I'm digging what's going on, but I don't really know what's going on. But this guy Anthony Johnston seems to do some weird stuff, and I want to see where it's all going because I dig it. I'm enjoying the ride.
Nice.
Next up, we've got let's switch those out. We've got Dead Body Road. This is written by Justin Jordan with art by Matteo Scalera. Really good stuff. Trying to remember what last happened. There was, you know what? I don't even remember. I remember I was enjoying it. I remember, Justin Jordan is a writer that I enjoy. I liked all of his Luther Strode stuff, and I really like this art. I think it's looking pretty sharp. I am going to have to go back and figure out what the heck is going on, but it's pretty cool. It's a good book. It's a solid Image title right now that you should be checking out if you're not. Then we've got The Walking Dead 124. This is chapter 10 of All Out War. We're closing in on the ending of this thing. We don't really know what's going to happen. Both groups have suffered a lot of loss. There's been a lot of great character development. In the last issue, something happened to Rick. And that's kind of what I was talking about 2 weeks ago is this their moment when they can just kind of kill Rick and move on? And, I didn't, because how much are you going to put the guy through?
Right.
But they at this point, they kind of used it more as a device to show you, Negan has decided that if they cover all their weapons in zombie guts, well, then there's nothing you can do if we scratch you or whatever. Rick gets shot by, what's his name's crossbow. And, all right, now the question is, did he, wipe zombie guts on it or not? Because apparently getting shot through the side is not as big a deal as it should be. But now they're questioning that guy's loyalty, and they're questioning, well, everyone else has got fever. What the hell's going on? But it's really neat. I mean, Negan is still very, very confident, but our group is still very, very confident. It's kind of interesting to see how this war is coming to a head. Both groups think they're winning. And, the sad thing about war is everyone loses. Yeah. That's just the way it is, even though you've got generals on either side. We're winning this thing. Really? Tell that to that boy's mom. Tell that to, his wife. Tell that to her husband. Good luck. So it has been interesting, and it's been some great character development, and I really like what Kirkman's doing over there.
Cool.
That's my stack.
Well, I'm going to lead off with Larfleeze number 9. Larfleeze has been kind of engaged with these weird cosmic entities from another dimension. They're very powerful. They're a family that there's a little bit of kind of like the Endless, but a more humorous version of it.
Okay.
Each issue they're a little bit less like that, but it's a family of kind of extra dimensional gods. And Larfleeze because he has no respect for anyone or anything, kind of gets on their bad side, and then now he's kind of doing battle with them. They destroyed their entire universe, with their kind of interpersonal conflicts. But somehow I get the feeling that Larfleeze is still gonna be able to take care of them. This book also has been canceled.
Oh, has it?
So I'm sure they're going to wrap up all of this. I guess people there's an awful lot of Green Lantern books, and they're coming out with a Sinestro book. So I guess the kind of humorous one that doesn't really fit in, that didn't really do too well. Although we do get a guest appearance by a Green Lantern.
I just saw that. That's nice.
That was made famous by Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMatteis some years ago. Next up, Red Lanterns. This is Charles Soule. This is the Red Daughter of Krypton continuing. In the last issue, basically they had captured, or the Red Lanterns had gotten a hold of Supergirl. In her book, she's still on Earth, because all of that's taking place before this. But now she's been brought out to the Red Lantern homeworld and freed, and of course goes crazy and starts attacking people. And then she realizes, no, these Red Lanterns are on her side. And now they're basically kind of acclimating her to her new role. Superman shows up. He's not too happy about this. But as is always the case in a Supergirl book.
And Guy Gardner looks like Rick from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, they've really kind of played with his look a lot. He's got kind of the big mustache and the long hair now. But this has been a really good book. This is definitely this new direction. Bringing Guy Gardner in really changed the tone of the book and made it a lot more interesting. And I think adding Kara to the mix, even if it's temporary, is going to be pretty good. And, obviously we've got a conflict or a battle coming with Atrocitus and Guy Gardner for the leadership of the Red Lanterns one of these days. But still, really good book. This turned around completely. Great stuff by Charles Soule.
And, wouldn't be a week of WeekNGeek without a Charles Soule book in there.
Next up, we've got Superman number 29. This is Superman and Starfire. Basically kind of duking it out. There's some alien technology on Earth. Some things going on. Starfire wants to... I think the basic thing is she wants to kill the people involved. Superman doesn't. That always seems to be the case. Some aliens want to kill. There's some weird aliens going on in here. Also, we've got some tie-in to Black Star, Starfire's sister, and what is his name, Lord Hellspawn from the Wildstorm stuff. And of course, this is all leading into the big Doomsday storyline that's going to run through the Superman books, and then after that, Jeff Johns takes over. So got some good stuff coming down the pike for Superman. Next up, Miracle Man number 4. This is continuing the reprints of the original writer and Alan Davis and Gary Leach. This is the end of the first storyline. Book 4 is the end of A Dream of Flying, which is the first Miracle Man book. The colors in here are fantastic. They've done a great job reproducing it, as we've mentioned before. It looks fantastic. It's been relettered. And then in addition, the back matter is almost all new, not new, but story material that at least I don't recall seeing reprinted in at least the Eclipse run, or at least the main run. So yeah, there's some stuff here that I don't think it's new, but it's either has never been printed in the U.S. or it's been pretty rare. Okay,
it's probably just primarily in that Warrior magazine.
It could have been that. It looks like this one here may have appeared in there was some other, it was called A1, some anthology, British anthology book. So yeah, some of this stuff appeared outside of the Miracle Man proper, or even the Warrior stuff. And then sketches and things like that. So this has really been a great presentation of this material. I think Marvel's done a really good job. Next up, Survive number 1. I think this is only one issue. But this is basically bridging the Galactus storyline that sort of killed off a bunch of Ultimate characters, and then the relaunch of the Ultimate Universe next month with the new Avengers, Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man book. And this is kind of the bridge. This is cleaning up the aftermath of Galactus. This is the funeral for Captain America, and this is where basically we're going to see the new Ultimate Universe kind of grow out of what happens here. So yeah, the Galactus thing was a good story overall. Had some twists in it. This is by Brian Michael Bendis. So I don't know how in I am on this new Ultimate Universe, but at least for now we'll give it a shot.
Give it a try. See if you like it.
Next up, we've got the Superior Spider-Man number 30. This is going to make some people happy. What we've been expecting for 30 issues has finally...
so is this the last issue of Superior?
No, because I think
we're just building up
he
to
just
the
comes
Amazing.
back.
Okay.
And then next issue, we get the resolution and then Amazing Spider-Man. So yeah, this has been, if you've been reading it all along, this is what we've been waiting for. This is the payoff. It's Dr. Octopus in Peter's body versus the goblins, and then the return of a beloved character. Let's just put it like that.
So if you haven't been reading it, it's also what you've been waiting for.
Yes. In addition to that, I think this is actually kind of cool, is they've reprinted the entirety of Black Widow number 1.
Yes.
For still the same price. So if you didn't check out Black Widow, you can check it out this way. I think really, really clever stuff. I mean, I love it when they do that. Image used to do that, and that
let
really
you have
boosted
something. Get you into it.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're not giving it a try, now you got no reason not to. It's sitting here for free,
and it's not even a tease. It's the whole issue.
It's the whole issue. So yeah, all the people who bought it, well, you got screwed. But,
well, not necessarily.
No.
I mean, but those of you that didn't, you don't necessarily have to go back and buy the one. You've got it now, and then you can start buying it going forward.
It's a great
if you like
way to do it.
And Black Widow has been a good book.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. Next up, we've got Avengers number 27. This is Jonathan Hickman. We had that team of Avengers. It looked like he was doing kind of a little parody on all new X-Men with the Avengers from the past and let their 1963 garb show up. It turns out those weren't from the past. They were from an alternate dimension. And then it turns out that they're not quite just the old version of these heroes. Some of them are a little bit different, and all of them are a little bit nastier. So we got a fight between some Avengers, modern Avengers, versus some kind of old-fashioned Avengers. We also have a super adaptoid. You can't go wrong with a super adaptoid. So that's basically like 3 Avengers teams fighting it out. But good stuff overall, and we've still got the ongoing storyline with AIM. That's been kind of running through a lot of this stuff. But yeah, really good stuff.
I love those beekeeper suits. I really do.
They're great. And it's nice to see kind of these, Iron Man versus Iron Man, Thor versus Thor. All that stuff's always fun.
And, you just mentioned...
Yes, that's why I put those in a row, as a matter of fact. They reprint the entirety of the New Invaders, All New Invaders number 1. So again, nice tie-in, Black Widow with Spider-Man, Invaders with the Avengers. So yeah, if you didn't check that book out, now you got no reason not to.
Yeah, you're not paying anymore.
Yeah, again, same price, $3.99.
Same price.
This is 2 comics for the price of 1.
I tell you what, for $3.99, if they did that on most of their $3.99 books and gave you something that they wanted you to read, people wouldn't feel bad about that extra $1.
Oh, definitely.
And of course, it'd still be the guy going, well, I don't want to pay an extra $1 for a book I'm not even reading. Yeah, but they gave you the issue number 1, so you can try it.
They could,
and they're going to take your $3.99 anyway.
They could staple a $5 bill into every $3.99 comic, and someone is going to complain.
Well, dude, you can't staple it. Now you've ruined the value of the book. I can't take the $5 bill out.
You can't take the money out because it's not mint. And you can't polybag it because then you can't open it. Let's just face it, they can't win. Next up, New Avengers number 16. This is another one of those .nows. This is, I guess, the beginning of something. This is kind of a clever issue here. The New Avengers, the Illuminati, have been dealing with the incursions of another universe kind of coming in, worlds colliding. They built something called the Bridge, which Reed Richards, way back in Hickman's FF run, was using to peer into alternate dimensions. So now they are using it to peer into alternate dimensions to find out how other worlds have dealt with these incursions. And this particular issue, they're basically just watching another world of heroes take on the incursion. One of the heroes of this world is a superpowered, kind of handsome, godlike character wearing a cape. There's a green extraterrestrial with a big brow. There's a speedster wearing lightning and red, and someone who looks kind of like a knight, but he's all dark, and magic guy with a helmet and an amulet. So yeah, basically this is one of those great kind of Justice League knockoffs and how they deal with this incursion. So basically Hickman is saying this is how the DC universe deals with these incursions, and neat stuff.
It's a neat idea.
It's always fun when they do those kind of parody knockoff things. Usually that's good, and Hickman, he's been doing great stuff no matter what. Next up, Guardians of the Galaxy number 13. This is the resolution. This is the end of the trial of Jean Grey.
It's been pretty good.
It's been
I finally
pretty
caught
solid.
up on that. It's been good.
I've enjoyed it. Great artwork by Sarah Pichelli. And, as you would expect, she... I'm not going to spoil too much by saying they don't do anything to Jean Grey by the end of this. But there is a little twist for Cyclops at the end.
Okay.
I saw that kind of interesting.
And isn't Cyclops getting his own book?
Is he?
I think he is.
With the way this ends, I could see how that would happen. But anyway, this is some good stuff. Again, Bendis has been giving you twists and turns and doing things that seem obvious and then taking it in another direction. And we've got Jean Grey being pretty badass here, even if she's not the Phoenix. Good telekinetic is always a dangerous thing. So yeah, this has been a great storyline all along. I'm sure this ending is going to be just as good.
Right on. No, I see you've gotten through the bulk of your stack, and you seem to be missing one unless you dropped it.
What?
I want to give it a shout out anyway. Usually have Manhattan Projects in there.
Oh, did I miss Manhattan Projects?
You missed Manhattan Projects.
Okay, then Manhattan Projects also.
And Manhattan Projects is got Ryan Brown this month.
Oh, cool.
So I definitely wanted to mention that. I just assumed it was going to be in your stack because Ryan's our buddy. We like Ryan.
I must have just missed the cover. Sometimes all those covers look the same because just a big circle on it.
Yes.
But even though it's not here, that is a great book. And the last one ended with quite a cliffhanger.
Okay.
With something pretty big happening to Oppenheimer and Einstein. So
okay, I gotta catch up on the trades. I've fallen behind.
I don't have it in front of me, but it's a great book, and I'm gonna grab it as soon as we're done.
Right, and like I said, Ryan Brown's on there.
Oh, yeah.
This month, so and you can never go wrong with his stuff. Just beautiful art. Yeah. And I like Ryan a lot. Ryan's a good dude. Mm-hmm. So I guess that takes me to the top of my stack, and kind of this is a weird one for me.
Yeah.
I figure I'm shaking up the more that I'm kind of looking at all this art and seeing things, the more I'm excited about this. I really liked Ghost Rider when I was a kid. So we've got an all-new Ghost Rider, and he's got a car.
Yeah.
At first I thought, blasphemy. It was a horse, and then it was a motorcycle, and that all made sense to me. Well, even with your car, they always talk about the horsepower of your engine. So, you know what? I suddenly just realized that, and I don't care. If they wanna do something different, and they wanna make him Knight Rider with a flaming head, that's fine. But I hope it's a convertible. You're gonna melt the inside of that baby. Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we do have artwork by Trad Moore here, who was, we had mentioned earlier with Justin Jordan and Luther Strode. This is the guy that draws Luther Strode. Mm-hmm. I love his artwork. I really, really like it. It's cartoony, but not really overly cartoony. It's also got a
funny cartoony.
Right? Yes. Yeah. And he draws violence in a really kind of grotesque sort of way. And you're like, oh, everything else looks like nice and cartoony, but that guy just got his head punched off. But it looks like maybe we're doing a speed racer kind of thing here too.
Yeah, it's like street racing and.
So we got Fast and the Furious and Knight Rider and Ghost Rider and all of these things kind of mashed together. And the more I kind of look at this stuff, the more I'm actually excited about trying a new Ghost Rider. So that's my top book this week.
Very cool. My top book is Sandman Overture #2. This is Neil Gaiman and J.H. Williams. It's been quite a long time since the first issue, but that first issue was great.
That's what I hear.
I really enjoyed it a great deal. It ends with kind of a big... not cliffhanger, but big reveal of all these different alternate versions of Dream, and that continues on through here. Kind of like a sci-fi rock creature. We've got a giant, a cat. So all these different versions of Dream. Every different civilization has a different kind of take on it, apparently. Or that's sort of what's implied here.
Did he use the bridge?
He did not use the bridge. That's copyrighted by Marvel Comics. We even have the a part of it set in the present with Daniel, the modern incarnation of Dream. So yeah, this is kind of interesting, gorgeous artworart by J.H.
Really
Williams.
pretty.
This we just have to kind of accept that this is not going to be a monthly book. That it's going to be 6 issues that will take at least a year, if not more. But it's worth it. It's gorgeous stuff, and just what I've been reading, flipping through it. Gaiman he's just nailing it. I know there's always some concern when somebody comes back to a property after a long time. More often than not, when people go home again, you realize, they're not the same, and it just doesn't quite work. But he's still got the tone. This is still It's still got that kind of dark fantasy tone, and there's some big stuff going on. And this is a story that he had in his mind way back even when he was working on the book. This basically is a prequel to the Sandman series. It will end with him being captured the way he was at the beginning of Sandman #1. So, we know where this everyone's going to wind up in here because it's a prequel. Again, that's even usually more dangerous.
Yes.
But so far, this has been great stuff. It doesn't matter if we know where we're going to wind up, because I think he's going to take us in a very unexpected way to get somewhere where we know. It's
still going to be a great journey. You got Neil Gaiman at the helm.
Great stuff, and also a lot of backstory. I think they're fleshing out all of this stuff with the alternate versions of Dream, and we see the first incarnation of Dream. All kinds of stuff that we'd never really seen before. So he's really not just telling us a new story; he's expanding what was already a pretty vast mythology. So good stuff. I'm really excited for it.
Oh, very cool. Well, I want to mention one more thing before we wrap it up. You notice we're both wearing the same shirt. It's not that we didn't get the memo, but Jinn was a locally produced film. Kind of the trailers look great. I mean, it's kind of got like some myths going on and some other things. There was a car that they built, I guess, that was at Motor City Comic Con a couple of years ago. Okay. But it looks really neat to me. I mean, you can check things out at www.jinnthemovie.com. That's JINNTHEMOVIE.com. And check out that trailer. It looks really, really cool. Like I said, locally produced, shot here in Detroit. And it looks great. It's being put out by Exodus Pictures. It opens on April 4th of this year. Now, a lot of you nerds are probably going to opt for the red, white, and blue Captain America movie that weekend. But look, if you are local, and even if you're just kind of in the area, check your local theater and still try and catch it that weekend. See if you can see it somewhere. I know. I'm not going to convince you to go see, this thing over Captain America.
See them both.
But see them both. See them both that same weekend and check that out, because the trailers really do look great, and it's something that I'm kind of excited about. So with that, that is your Week in Geek.